Hello everyone, it's Dylan from YuGiOh Everything, and welcome back to another YuGiOh video. So I have done a video in the past where I have gone over a bunch of different times that the YuGiOh anime or the YuGiOh series, whether it was the anime or card game, was referenced in other shows. I'll have that video linked down below in case you're interested in that. But what we are going to be doing in this video specifically is we are going to look at 5 cases where YuGiOh characters themselves actually invaded other anime and manga. This is a really fun topic. It was really fun to put this list together. There are some entries on here that are really weird and really strange, and I'd love to know if the creators of these shows or the creators of these mangas actually had permission to use these characters from YuGiOh, or if they just used them and slightly recolored them, and that was that. But we're going to go over all of that in this video, and if there's any instances I miss of characters actually showing up in the flesh in other shows outside of YuGiOh from the YuGiOh shows, please let me know down below. Before we get into the 5 outside anime, we actually do have a couple of honorable mentions that I want to start with. Characters that appeared in their own shows, whether it was Duel Monsters, GX, 5Ds, and then also appeared kind of in other shows. And of course, we're going to start very quickly with the Zexal cameos. There is a couple of times where Yuma is either arguing or discussing with his friends, and in the background of those scenes, you can see still images of characters that resemble very obviously characters that once appeared in YuGiOh. The first shot we're looking at is clearly supposed to be Alexis Rhodes or Asuka and Akiza Azinski or Aki from GX and 5Ds respectively. This is obviously supposed to be them. I'm not saying it is them, it's just a cool little cameo slash Easter egg, but there's no way that especially redheads have that kind of hairstyle by coincidence. It's definitely them. And then there's another shot a little later on in Zexal, very similarly, where Chaz, Manjome Thunder, is actually in the background of one of these shots. Now, I don't think it's these two girls or Chaz actually hanging out in the Zexal universe, especially considering the timeline and the age gap. I think it's just a really fun and cool Easter egg that I kind of wish YuGiOh did a little more. There's 2 other instances of this. Blair was a very well-known character in YuGiOh GX, and in the very first episode of YuGiOh 5Ds, we see cheerleaders cheering on Jack Atlas, and we're going to pause it right there. You see a cheerleader that looks exactly like Blair, and the funny thing is, this might not even be an invasion of another timeline, because we know that 5Ds and GX are connected in canon thanks to Bonds Beyond Time and a few other references. So this could be Blair grown up. Maybe dueling didn't work out and she went into the sport of cheerleading. I don't know. I mean, that's a very plausible thing. Whether it's Blair or just someone that looks like her, maybe she has a twin, we will never know. And then the final YuGiOh related one is Tetsu Trudge Ushio, a character that has appeared in some way, shape, or form in every single YuGiOh anime. He has straight up defied logic and defied the YuGiOh timeline and anything that makes logical sense in any sort of timeline for YuGiOh. If you want to check out that video of where he appeared in every single show, definitely check it out down below. I've already done a video covering that. But now, let's get into some foreign anime and manga that are not YuGiOh, where YuGiOh characters appeared in. I hope you enjoy. Let's start with the manga Bobobo Bobobo. Yes, that is a real manga. Admittedly, I have never heard of it before the research I did to construct this video. It's a comedy manga which was serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump between 2001 and 2005. The main character, Bobobo, has one of the best afros I have ever seen, honestly, and this afro would be the birthing ground for a very famous duelist. That was probably worded really strangely, but in chapter 104 of the manga, Yamayugi appears from Bobobo's afro and summons the Egyptian god Slifer the Sky Dragon against Halekulani. There's actually a really cool fandom of this over on Phantom Savage's channel that I will definitely link down below as well. Even the author is self-aware of not being able to draw the legendary god card nearly as well as Kazuki Takahashi, as the spectators of the battle poke fun at it. Bobobo thanks Yugi-san, and Yugi, I guess, reverts back into Bobobo's afro, never to be seen again. It's good to know that if a character really needs him, Yamayugi can teleport to other manga to help out fellow Shonen Jump protagonists. Maybe that means we'll see Deku summon Yamayugi and Exodia in My Hero Academia at some point. Either way, an absolutely incredible moment. Can't a girl watch some tennis around here? Anzu, or Taya Gardner in the dub, is one of the more well-known Yu-Gi-Oh girls since she was the original Yu-Gi-Oh girl. While Taya wasn't really much of a duelist, she was always watching and supporting her friends from the sidelines. Well, it turns out dueling wasn't the only activity she enjoyed watching. It turns out our girl Taya was also a massive tennis fan. So much so that she actually bought tickets to watch a hotly contested match in the popular anime Prince of Tennis. No, I am not kidding. Take a look at this quick clip from Prince of Tennis and see if you can spot her.
繰り返しお知らせいたします。中断しておりましたシングルス1は関東ジュニア選抜チ。
You might not have seen her, and that could be because she dyed her hair black. I mean, when a girl goes out for a fun day of partying or tennis watching, getting the nails done, getting the hair did, as they say, is pretty common. But in all seriousness, this is golden. Wait a second, look at the girl sitting next to her. Is that Serenity Wheeler? I guess Taya won 2 tickets to see the big match between Ryoma and Kevin. While the color schemes of the hair might be slightly darker, I don't think you can chalk this up to being a coincidence. Sure, if it was just Taya or just Serenity's character in the stands, that's one thing. But both Yu-Gi-Oh girls hanging out next to each other, watching the match, no way. This was definitely done intentionally, which is hilarious. I can relate to this entry because I used to be a tennis player back in high school, and while it's cool to say, oh, if I was in an anime, I'd be in My Hero Academia or Pokemon, the unfortunate truth is, I'd probably be a spectator in Prince of Tennis, just like these gals. Too relatable. Next up is one you actually might remember if you watched my top 10 references video from the past summer. It's actually 3 Yu-Gi-Oh! Tag Force characters making cameos in Cardfight Vanguard. Easily one of the strangest entries on this list. Take a look at this scene from episode 53 of Cardfight.
さすがにみんな強そうですね。あれは広島のチームワンダーボーイズ。
If you didn't catch it, I don't blame you at all. Let's freeze it right there. Those 3 girls in the background are actually 3 Yu-Gi-Oh! Tag Force girls with just slightly different color schemes. These girls are Bright, Yuma, and Mataya, and what makes this entry even stranger is if you watch this scene in the English dub, the 3 Yu-Gi-Oh! Gals have been removed and replaced with these Calibro dudes. It makes me think that maybe Vanguard got in trouble for using characters that were clearly ripoffs of the ones in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. It's certainly a very strange cameo, especially given how big of rivals Yu-Gi-Oh! And Cardfight Vanguard are. I understand using similar storylines and taking inspiration from one another, but blatantly using character designs from another card game's IP, I've never been able to find whether this was blatant plagiarism, whether Cardfight had the right to use these designs, or why it was removed in the English dub altogether. It really is bizarre, and is certainly the most mind-boggling entry in this video. We have another Yami Yugi cameo. This time we are taking a look at Hikaru No Go. Hikaru No Go, for those of you that don't know, rhyming bonus, is a manga and eventual anime that spawned from 1999 to 2003, which is of course right when Yu-Gi-Oh! Just so happened to be taking off. There is a manga panel during chapter 37 that features prominent Shonen Jump characters on a computer screen that the main character Hikaru was looking at. These characters include Luffy from One Piece, and if you look in the very top right of the computer screen, you can see the king of games, Yami Yugi. Hikaru is surprised by his friend pulling him away from the computer, and jokes about how it was a good thing he was only looking at the Shonen Jump homepage. LOL. Talk about breaking the fourth wall, though. For those of you that don't know, Hikaru No Go is also a Shonen Jump manga, so this particular scene makes it seem as if all of those characters exist within the Hikaru No Go universe, much like how they exist in the real world to all of us humans. Very clever indeed. Yet another cameo from the King of Games himself, probably one of the most humorous ones on this list. This appearance comes from the manhwa Need a Girl. Need a Girl is an ecchi romance comedy genre manhwa whose plot synopsis states it was about 3 boys trying to get a girlfriend in their sad adolescent lives. Sounds like this was just based on me and my friends in high school. We have to look all the way to chapter 32 for the appearance of a very familiar character. On this panel, the story is in a classroom and a phone begins to ring. The teacher proceeds to yell at the class and remind them that phones are prohibited, and commands the students of his class to empty their bags on their desks. We then see 4 characters who are assumingly students in the class. The first character has food books, the second character has digital cameras, the third character has mystery novels, and the fourth character has Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And the character that has Yu-Gi-Oh cards is hysterically Yami Yugi, meaning that in this ecchi universe, Yami Yugi is a classmate of the main characters, which is incredible. I never pegged Yami as a guy who would be hanging out in a setting like this, but maybe this is where one of his many rooms in his Millennium Puzzle lead to, and he often hung out here for obvious reasons. That's a hell of a theory, isn't it? Fun fact, Dragon Ball gets a reference on literally the next page, and the Simpson family gets shown off a few pages after this, so it's just a manhwa filled with other media Easter eggs. But yeah, Yami Yugi is not only the king of games, but very apparent by this list, he is also the king of invading other anime and manga. And that about wraps it up. Thank you all so much for watching 5 times that Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters invaded other anime and manga. I really hope you enjoyed, and let me know all your thoughts on these cameos down below. Let me know if you knew about these, let me know if you learned something new, and let me know if I missed any as well of moments where Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters actually appeared in other anime and manga. Really excited to hear from all of you, and thank you all so much for watching. And a special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons, Alexa Baker, Glen McGookin, Jorge Carrillo, Horace Maye, Goosey Q, Vincent Van Der Veen, Panther J, Smith620, Jorge Leon, Blue Maiden 28, Jarrett Buller, and Gabe G, and to my Diamond tier patrons Jesse Wood, Latrell Smith, Sean, and Melinda Phantom, and to my Egyptian God tier patron Syn Cloud. Thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. Thank you to everyone who's a channel member. You guys help me out tremendously. And thank you to everyone who just watches these videos. Without you guys, I would not be able to do this. I will talk to you down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.
I